Morning. Welcome to the Child Support Agency. Can I help you?
I was just on the phone to Susan. I'm not sure. Anyway, the phone call, I'll just say it ended, and I didn't end it. So I'm calling back.
Okay, so you were going through the incomes for the assessment.
I was just seeking an explanation because, from the recipient of the mail, the post, I just get, and everyone who gets these gets a number with very little, that number was arrived at, right? So I was seeking a bit more detail, like a table of how these things are calculated. I'm sure there is one if I looked hard enough on your website. But
there is. Yeah, usually you usually find all of that information on our guide.
But I was just saying to the previous lady on the phone that it would be good if that got included with an assessment. It'd be quite helpful. But that's by the by. But basically, I was just seeking clarification and an explanation as to why, no matter how much my wife earns, my amount of child costs seems to stay the same, quite high.
So do you have care of the children?
No, that hasn't changed. So she's 100%.
Yeah. See, the child support uses the parents' incomes and the level of care. If a parent has a level of care, we then factor in that they've got a cost. So we apply a cost for the parent who do have the care. So if a parent doesn't have any care, obviously you're going to be paying the highest rate for the child support.
So that hasn't changed in between these assessments. So that's not in question. That's understandable. But because she didn't lodge her tax return until obviously quite recently, the provisional 8,000 odd was put against her income. But now she has an income which has been, the ATO have put it at 43,000, and all that has done is reduce my share by $5 a week.
Okay.
Even though she's earning, her estimated income is $34,500 higher than it was.
Yeah. Well, we had, from the 1st of July every year, the system starts trying to find within the tax system income information for a parent. Okay. Letters go out to the parents. We expect them to read those letters to see what information we're using for their case. In this particular instance, we've got a derived income for the 12-13 financial year from the 1st of July 2012. Oh, there's no notes there. Okay. And then she's lodged her 12-13 tax return on the 21st of October. So we've received that from the tax office. Just have a look.
Yeah, I assume that's the case. Yeah.
21st. Okay, and then we have reduced your child support there once we have received that information.
Well, I think
reduced
it
by too much. It hasn't reduced it by much. I know, I can see that. But yeah, most certainly we have applied the reduction that we need to, or when I say reduction, we have adjusted that balanced in accordance to the income that we've now got for her. We can't make somebody lodge their tax return. We would love to be able to do that.
That's not the thing I'm really ringing about. I know that's how it works, and I know you've got until the end of October to lodge, and I know that if there was a substantial amount different, then she would have to pay that back, right? Because I've already spoken to someone a couple of months ago about that.
Yeah.
But there isn't a substantial difference. It's just $5 a week, $5.30 a week.
Yeah.
My huge reduction. My main query regards, the cost per child that is arrived at.
Mhm.
Right. So obviously that's based on income. I understand that.
Yep.
Because it depends on what you're capable of providing.
Yes.
But the cost of each of the three children, so each child, has gone up $1,900 per child. So the new estimate is $10,500. It was $8,600.
Just let me. Where's my calculator gone? There it is. So the previous total cost of the children was $29,644. The new cost of children, that's using $103,995 for yourself and $43,768 for mum. That's the 11-12 taxable incomes.
Mhm.
And then from the 1st to the 9th, we're using $113,398 for you for the 12-13. And for mum, 12-13, we're using $42,959.
Mhm.
And that amount is 31,588.
Yeah, that would be right.
So that's a total amount there, increase of 1,944.
The total,
Yeah.
the total increase is nearly 6,000.
No.
That's how mine's written.
Let me have a look. I'm looking at a different screen, so I'll go to notice. I'll try this first one. That page. I'm just reading through this.
Mhm.
I'm just going to grab this off the printer because I've got to toggle between the screens. Just one
Yeah,
moment
sure.
there. Thank
Mhm.
you. I'm back. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so when I'm looking at the case liability rate screen. That's something that you don't have, you too.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, from what I can see, the previous assessment there was the total cost of children $29,644, and that's using your lower income of $103,995 and mum's 11-12 taxable income of $43,768. Get out of there. Then from the 1st of September, we're using your $113,398 income. That's the 12-13 financial year. We've got
Mhm.
mum's 12-13 taxable income from the tax office, $42,959. And then we've got the three children there. And the total cost of the children is $31,588. So there's an increase to that because there's A higher income for you for the 12-13 financial year, and mum's income's, I think, $1,000 less than what it was previous. So there is an increase there, but total overall increase specifically there for the cost of the children is the 1,944.
All right. Well, I guess I'm looking at step 7 in what I've received,
Yep.
which is costs of the children.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just looking, so it's individualised, and so in the one I received on 1st of August, which was based on my new assessment, so my current income.
Yeah.
So not last year's one, so this is current. So 1st of August, the cost of a child was $8,679 per child.
Okay, but what incomes were we using there as well?
You were using my 2013 taxable income, 113,000, and provisional income, i.e. prior to lodging her tax return. Hello?
Oh, I was here, yeah. So, 1st of September, that's when we got your new taxable income. Okay, and we had a provisional there for Kim. Elijah over 13 and the other 2 children were under. Yeah, so when we're talking about the cost of children, that information is available on our guide. I'll just get that.
I don't doubt that.
And that does, I mean, that there is some slight changes to that each year in accordance to, CPI, that type of thing. Just let me bring up the cost of children. Support. Basic values, cost of children table. Yeah, see, it does change each year. See, it does change each year with CPI.
So can you speak? I can't hear you very well.
Oh, it does change each year. Okay, slightly.
Oh, yeah, I realise.
CPI,
I realise that. It's more the change that occurred between the assessment that was provided for normal income and the new one, which I received yesterday for her current recent financial year taxable income. Yeah. So the cost of a child at step 7 now says $10,529.
Yep. And that's also too because we are actually using a higher income for you. Let me just get
my income hasn't changed.
Let me get out of there.
Between those 2 letters, my income is exactly the same.
And on that previous one, just print this one off as well. Bear with me.
Mhm.
I'll just grab that off the printer. Won't be a second. Thanks for holding there. You still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks very much for that. Okay, so if you look at the front page of those assessment letters, assessment
Mhm.
notices, okay, let's look at the one where we're using the provisional income.
Yep.
Okay, so we're using your taxable and
Mhm.
and then if you go down to the combined child support income, on that is $91,019. Okay, because lower income, the income percentage is 100%, and that's where you're assessed to pay.
Yeah, I'm all good with that.
Okay. Yep. So
fine. Yeah.
that's where you're assessed to pay that 8679. Now on the other one, where we're using both of your taxable incomes, if you have a look at the combined child support income, that's increased.
I'm still there. Yep.
Yep. So that has increased. So with that, because that has increased there, that has increased the child support amount payable total over that whole for the cost of the children.
Yeah, I do understand that there's a income to child cost ratio.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't understand is where this $1,900 per child, how it's calculated, because there's nothing provided with this assessment, which I think there should be.
Yeah, I mean, in regards to that, because it is there's the well, if you go to step 8, okay, the annual amount of child support is calculated on that at step 8.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that is as per our table. Okay, the table can be found on the guide.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be good to provide it with this rather than have to go and?
It would be practical.
This is suggestions.
But it would possibly be more confusing for a lot of parents at the same time.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand this whole thing. I don't have a misunderstanding about it, except the fact that has put in her real income, I assume. That's what she earns.
Yeah.
So because she's earned some money, that means that altogether there's more money in the pot.
That's right. That's correct.
For the children.
Yes.
That's all cool. However, that extra money in the pot hasn't changed my amount at all. So I guess.
Well, it does, because if you look at that, it doesn't. It doesn't. If that makes any sense.
Realistically, it doesn't, does it?
Yeah, realistically, but on paper it does.
And
on paper, there's a different calculation that is the outcome. So on that 91.
See, but you got to understand, from my point of view, that number's come out of thin air. There's no origin. There's no derivation of that figure. I work with numbers a lot, so I need to see.
Yeah, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm cut out then for a minute.
I've got quite bad reception.
But then, if you have a look at the where we're using her provisional and we're using the 91,019, as the combined child support income. You'll see the income percentage is 100% for you because you've got the higher income, and 0%. If you go to the other one, where we're using both taxable incomes for your parents, that combined child support income changes to 111,599, but the percentage of your income has changed to the 81.56 and 15.44. So the adjustments have been applied for the purpose of the assessment in that regard.
Yeah.
Although, because we've got those incomes there, your income's slightly higher than the previous income we were using, and mum's...
No. Mine's not. I'd like to make that quite clear. Mine has not changed.
So I'm talking about the previous. Okay. And because mum's income has now been updated, but she still has that 100% care. That's why it appears I know you're probably looking at it going, well, why doesn't it decrease?
And I know why it doesn't decrease. It's because of this figure, which has been now changed. The one I'm questioning, which is the whole point of this call, is that the cost per child has gone up $1,900 each.
Yep.
So $5,700 total.
Yep.
I appreciate that that's based on something, but I haven't got. I don't know what that basis is, and I think if that's not provided,
it's actually okay. Even though if you're looking at those letters, right, your actual annual rate has decreased from the 26,037 to the 25,761.
Yeah, that's mine.
Yes.
But this now includes the rather abstract amount of income. That's why.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
So
because we're using her her taxable higher income, and then her income percentage is the 18.44. Your income, the 1213 taxable income, 113,398. The percentage of your income that we're using there is 81.56. So even though
I'm all good with that.
Yeah.
It's this cost per child 0.7 of $10,529, which I have no idea where that's come from.
Okay.
And why that has gone up such a large amount relative to the modest increase in combined child support income. I mean, it's basically 30-something% of the increased income. It's implying that that $6,000 income is going directly into supporting the children, which of course is rubbish, but that's by the by. So the thing is, I don't know where this figure of cost per child goes from 8,679 to 10,529. I don't know what the reasoning is behind that.
The best way that I can explain it is because we're using a different income. Okay, and if you look at the cost per step 8, child support amount payable, okay, it states there the 8587 by using that 81.56%, because we're using a lower percentage of your income for that.
Yep.
Multiplied by the 10,529, which is the cost of the children. That's the outcome of the cost per child for the case.
I know, but why? Do you appreciate that it's a big jump from cost per child, not what I'm paying, irrespective of what I'm paying?
Yeah.
Right? That jump from 8,679 to 10,529 is big. And I'd like I'd like to be sent a sheet, a data sheet, a fact sheet, a formula of
Okay.
how that and why that's occurred.
Okay. All right. Just let me go back to here.
That's really the crux of my inquiry. It's not what I'm paying. That's just secondary.
Calculate.
Yeah, because if you extrapolate, then what? I guess the philosophical question is, what is the cost of a child?
It changes. It does change. Obviously with children's ages, and then of course with CPI, it does change every year.
But this is not CPI based. This is not age based. This is just the updating income. That's the only basis this has come from.
Um, 10. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to do a unique letter, and I'll have to do that with the assistance of one of my technical officers.
So what letter, sorry?
A unique letter.
Oh, unique.
Okay, it's not something we can just pull and just put on paper for you, because we have to give you an explanation. With TSO.
A couple of years ago, I did stumble over those tables, so I know vaguely what they're based on, but I don't remember where they were, and your website's changed a bit.
Yeah, it has changed a bit. If you still go to, I found it, to the guide, where is it? Yeah, it has changed because we're all under Department of Human Services. If you go to Department of Human Services, let's go back.
But, sorry to stop you there, but I would rather get a written letter, because I just want to make sure that the people that are doing these estimates understand how they're being calculated, so that they can explain it to me, so I've got at least some confidence in the fact that, the estimates I've been receiving for years now have all been correctly done.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let me just save this onto here, and I'm going to... intro today. See if I can get someone to look at this for me. Won't be today. It'll have to be tomorrow. Inquiry required. Okay. All right. Yeah, so I'll put this down to have this finalised for us by the 31st, by Thursday next week. Should be done before then. And, I'll have to take that to my TSO and get them to help me do up a unique letter.
Okay, so, I'm not... Do you understand my point? That I just want some clarification of that number. And also, it would be nice to know if there is an end point to that cost of child figure. So, for example, if this is just for hypothetical sake, adjusted taxable income was exactly the same as mine, for instance. So that would be 50% each of the combined child support income.
Yeah.
does that mean, so at what point does my 50% not equal nearly $990 a week? You know, does it ever come down, or does the cost of the child just keep going up?
No. It doesn't. Once they get into that 13 plus category, it does not go up any more than that.
You're talking about the age of the child?
The age of the child, yes.
Oh, but,
so that's reflective of the cost of the child is the incomes. Okay, if you're talking incomes, then we'd have to go and put the information we've got on hand onto the calculator that we have online.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where we find out what that difference, if there is going to be a difference, would be.
So there must be a ceiling. Yeah,
There's a cap. There is a cap, for incomes.
So what is the maximum cost of any child?
Well, okay.
Where does it top out?
I'm talking incomes, and there's a cap for incomes. The cost of the child, once a child gets to the 13 plus age group, it's not going to increase unless it's increased in accordance with CPI. Obviously, that's going to depend again on if that child is still going to be a child of that case.
Yeah, no.
So there's varying factors that can come in.
Because I'm not talking about age-based.
Yeah.
And for some reason, my children all cost the same amount. Mm-hmm. Whether they're 13, the two under 13s are the same cost as the over 13, mm-hmm. which seems odd to me. But
well,
anyway.
Because there's 3 children, they fall into we put them into the mixed age category. Okay, if you had one child, they would either be under the 13 or over the 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll tick that one. It's cleared up. That's good. Okay, but if I earn $1 million a year, nice, huh? What would the cost of the child be then?
Well, there's a cap, okay.
So what is the cap is my question.
Income cap? Okay.
No, cost of child cap.
Okay, we're talking about 2 different things, okay. There's income and then there's the cost of the child. As I said, the cost of the child, once they get into that 13 plus age bracket, is not going to change that much unless it's going to go up in accordance with CPI. I can't predict what the next CPI is going to be. But if you're specifically talking about income, there is a cap on the incomes. At this point in time, anyone who earns up to $167,842.50 will not pay child support for any money earned over that amount.
What was the figure, sorry?
At this point in time, $842,842.50.
All right. So at that income, what is the cost of the child?
Okay, let me have a look here. See, that can change with percentage. Okay,
at 100%.
Percentage costs at 100%. Don't have 100% on the table. Yeah, I don't have 100% on the table. 29, 28, 27, 26 and 19. Doesn't go down any further. I can't give you a direct answer on that one because that's just it's not on the table for me.
Because if I got a promotion
mm-hmm.
at the end of the year,
mm-hmm.
and my income went up substantially
mm-hmm.
to, let's say, to 170,000,
mm-hmm.
so hit the cap of income,
mm-hmm.
and again put in they use a provisional next tax round for a while, I would be 100%, and I'd be at the cap of income. So that would equate to the maximum cost of the child.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it, anyway.
Yeah.
You
If
wouldn't
that
have
was
to
the
pay
case,
any more.
yeah. If that was the case, yeah.
So, but that's not on the table.
Yeah. No, I don't have 100% on the table here. I don't. So that's something I'm going to have to confer with my technical officer there. I can't.
So is 0% or is 100% on the table where my income falls into?
Sorry, say that again.
Well, the amount I was paying prior to lodging her tax return, I was paying 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So is that figure on the table as well? Or is 100% not on the table?
No, it's not on the. No, it's not. No.
So where do they get the number from?
The system calculates it.
Well, see, that's why I'm very.
If you're wanting something
this.
more specific, as I said, I'm going to have to get my technical officer
to
that'd be
much appreciated.
sit down with me and do the unique letter for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got that locked in. I'll send that off for my technical officer to do that. I'll probably do that face to face actually. That would be a bit more. Hang on a minute. There we go. Lock it. Yeah, might take a little bit of time to do that with them. Okay.
Yep.
Did you want a receipt number for the call?